Good day everyone, my name is Rainier Vince Igot and I'm excited to take you on a journey into the fascinating world of translation today. We will be exploring the intricacies of translating a Filipino folktale, especially a passage from Ang Alamat ng Kangkong, from Tagalog into English. This process is more than just converting words. It's about preserving the heart and soul of the original text, its cultural nuances, and its simple charm. Ang Alamat ng Kangkong, or The Legend of Kangkong, is a traditional Filipino folktale that explains the origin of the popular leafy green vegetable. It's a story passed down through generations, often told to children, and it beautifully captures the essence of Filipino culture and its connection to nature. This version is adapted from mangkwentongbayan.com. Our goal is to take this culturally rich passage and render it into English while retaining its meaning, tone, and storytelling quality. This presentation will guide you step by step through my translation journey, highlighting the challenges I faced and the choices I made, and the editing process that ensured the essence of the original work was preserved. Let's begin by examining the original Tagalog passage I selected for this activity. Sa isang malayong nayon, may magsasaka na nagangalang Juan. Si Juan ay isang masipag na magsasaka na mahilig magtanim ng mga gulay sa kanyang hardin. Isang araw, naisip niyang itanim ang kangkong sa kanyang lupa. Ang kangkong isang uri ng gulay na tubig-tubig, kaya pinalad itong lumago sa malapit sa ilog. This passage introduces us to Juan, a hardworking farmer who loves to cultivate vegetables in his garden. It sets the stage for the story, introducing the character and the setting. It also subtly hints at the unique nature of kangkong, a water-loving vegetable, which is a crucial element in the folktale. My English translation of this passage is, in a distant village, there lived a farmer named Juan. Juan was a diligent farmer who loved to plant vegetables in his garden. One day, he decided to plant kangkong in his land. Kangkong is a type of water-loving vegetable. Through near the river, each sentence required careful consideration to ensure that the original meaning was retained while making the language clear and engaging for English-speaking readers. Let me explain my choices. Sa isang malayong nayon, may magsasaka na nagangalang Juan. In a literal translation, in a distant village, there is a farmer named Juan. For my final version, in a distant village, there lives a farmer named Juan. I chose live instead of it to establish a sense of time and place, making the story feel more grounded. Si Juan ay isang masipag na magsasaka na mahilig magtanim ng mga gulay sa kanyang hardin. In my literal translation, Juan is a hardworking farmer who loves to plant vegetables in his garden. For my final version, Juan is a diligent farmer who loves to plant vegetables in his garden. I choose diligent instead of hardworking for a slightly more formal tone, and I change love to love to maintain consistency with the past tense established in the previous sentence. Isang araw, naisipan niyang itanim ang kangkong sa kanyang lupa. In the literal translation, one day, he thought of planting kangkong in his land. for my final version, one day, he decided to plant kangkong in his land. Decided is a stronger and more direct verb than thought of, reflecting one's proactive nature. Ang kangkong ay isang uri ng gulay na tubig-tubig, kaya pinalat itong lumago sa malapit sa ilog. In the literal translation, kangkong is a kind of vegetable that loves water, so it was fortunate to grow near the river. For the final version, kangkong, a type of water-loving vegetable, thrives near the river. Water-loving translates the concept of tubig-tubig more directly. Thrive implies the successful growth, highlighting the positive association with the river. Translating folktales can be tricky, especially when dealing with cultural idioms and specific terms. Here are some challenges I encountered. First, cultural references. The passage mentions kangkong, a vegetable that's deeply ingrained in Filipino culture. Translating this directly might not resonate with English-speaking readers. I chose to explain the nature of kangkong as a type of water-loving vegetable to provide context for the unfamiliar term. The next one is figurative language. The phrase pinalag itong lumago, it was fortunate to grow, uses a subtle figurative language that implies a connection between kangkong and the river. I translated this as thrill to convey the idea of successful growth and a natural affinity for the river. And lastly, maintaining simplicity. Folktales are often told in a simple and straightforward manner. It was important to maintain this simplicity in the English translation while still capturing the essence of the original. Now, let's move on to the next part of the story. Here's to the Tagalog passage. Ngunit sa tuwing itinatanim ni Juan ang kangkong, palaging namamatay ang mga halaman. Naging labi siyang nagtataka at nag-aalala sa kung bakit hindi niya magawang palaguin ang kangkong ng maayos. Naisip niyang humingi ng tulong sa matandang manggagamot sa kanilang dayo. Kilala itong may alam sa mga gamot mula sa kalikasan. This passage introduces a new challenge for Juan. It reads, this passage introduces a new challenge for Juan. He's trying his best to grow kangkong, but something is not right. He's frustrated and worried, which is a common feeling for anyone who loves to garden. This part of the story also introduces a new character, the old healer, who represents wisdom and knowledge about the natural world. Here's my English translation of this passage. But every time one planted kangkong, the plant always died. He became increasingly puzzled and worried about why he could not grow the kangkong properly. He decided to seek help from the healer in the village, known for his knowledge of natural remedies. I wanted to capture the sense of one's growing frustrations and his decisions to seek help. The phrase increasingly puzzled and worried emphasizes his concern, and decided to seek help shows that he's taking action to solve problems. Here's some of the choices I made. Palaging namamatay ang mga halaman. The plants always die. I chose to use the past tense died to maintain consistency with the story's storyline. Naging labis siyang nagtataka at nag-aalala. He became increasingly puzzled and worried. I used the phrase increasingly puzzled and worried to emphasize the growing intensity of one's solution. Naisipan niyang humingi ng tulong. He decided to seek help. I used the verb decided to show that one is taking a proactive step to find a solution. Kilala itong may alam sa mga gamot mula sa kalikas, known for his knowledge of natural remedies. I kept this phrase relatively close to the original, but I made it more concise and clear for English readers. Translating this part of the story presented some unique challenges. The first one is figurative language. The priest naging labis siya'y nagtataka at nag-aalala. He became increasingly puzzled and worried, uses figurative language to convey one's emotional state. I try to capture that feeling in English without being too literal. The next one is cultural context. The old healer is a common figurative in Filipino folktales representing wisdom and knowledge about the natural world. I wanted to make sure that English readers understood this cultural context. As always, the editing and proofreading process was crucial. I made sure the translation flowed naturally, maintained the story's tone, and accurately reflected the cultural context. Part of the story set the stage for the next chapter, where one will seek the old healer's help and learn the secret to growing Kangkong. Once I completed the initial translation, I moved on the editing phase. Here's how I approach it. The first one is flow and readability. I read the translation about to ensure it flowed naturally and was easy to understand. I made adjustments to sentence structure and word choices to more improve readability. Okay, the second is consistency and tone. I check for consistency in sense and tone throughout the passage. I made sure the language reflected the simple and charming nature of the original folktale. The last is cultural accuracy. I reviewed the translation to ensure it accurately conveyed the cultural context and significance of Kangkong in Filipino culture. The final step was proofreading, which involved a meticulous review for any overlooked errors. I followed these steps. The first one is grammar and punctuation. I checked for grammatical errors and proper punctuation. The second one is final read through. I read the translation one last time to ensure it was clear, concise, and accurate. Translating this passage from ang Alamat ng Kangkong was a rewarding experience. It highlighted the importance of cultural understanding. Translating the text effectively requires a deep understanding of the source culture, its values, and its traditions. Next one is creative adaptation. While fidelity to the original text is important, creative adaptation is often necessary to convey the essence of the text to a different audience. The last one is the importance of editing. Editing is a crucial step in translation, ensuring the final product is clear, accurate, and engaging. Thank you for joining me on this translation journey. This process reminded me of the power of language to connect cultures and share stories. I hope this presentation provided valuable insight into the intricate world of translation and editing. If you have any questions or would you like to discuss the process further, feel free to reach out. Thank you and bye-bye. Maraming salamat.